morning, dear students. Today we are going to start our class with parthenogenesis. In the last class, we have seen about different types of asexual reproduction. This parthenogenesis also is a type of asexual reproduction. Here, there is no role for sperm. That's the main thing. Sperm is not required to fertilize the egg to form the embryo. Okay. So, parthenogenesis is a type of asexual reproduction in which growth and development of the embryo occur without the fertilization by a sperm. Okay. Then, where will this type of asexual reproduction occurs? It can occur naturally in the case of some plants, in the case of some vertebrates, some invertebrates, and also artificially we can induce parthenogenesis in some fishes and amphibians. Next, we need to understand about two terms, that is full clones and half clones. Full clones, that I will explain first. Here, in the case of full clones, we know that in parthenogenesis the main factor is mother. So, the germ cell in the mother's germ cell, it is diploid and it undergoes mitosis instead of meiosis. It undergoes mitosis and form a diploid egg, and this diploid egg later form the embryo and the offspring, develop to offspring, that also diploid. And here this offspring receive the complete set of chromosomes from the mother's germ cell itself. So they are full clones of the mother. They are photocopies of their mother. Okay, clear? So there that development occurs without meiosis, and that process and that type of parthenogenesis is called apomictic parthenogenesis. Then what about half clones? Half clones means there also we are taking that mother's germ cell. We know that it is diploid, and here that germ cell undergoes meiosis. Okay, meiosis, and as a result of meiosis, we know that 4 cells will form and they are all haploid, and one among will be egg. And here the eggs are haploid. But look here, the formed egg is diploid. Okay. So here the egg formed is haploid, and this haploid egg, through some mechanism, it attained diploid state. Through what mechanism, that I will explain to you later. And that diploid state continues and it becomes a diploid offspring. Diploid offspring. And here that formed offspring is not an exact copy of the mother cell. It receives only a half set of chromosomes from mother cell instead of full. So they are called half clones. Okay. Then I am going to explain what are the mechanisms that help to regain that diploid state. So many mechanisms are there. One by one we can see. One mechanism is that through doubling of chromosomes without cell division before meiosis begins, or sometimes after meiosis. How that can occur? Before that meiosis, we are taking the case that before the meiosis, we know that the germ cell is diploid. It undergoes doubling of chromosome, and as a result of doubling of chromosome, it becomes foreign, and a foreign germ cell, if it undergoes meiosis, the resulting egg will be diploid. Okay, diploid. In that way, that diploid state can regain. One mechanism. So, and this type of regain, that process is called the endomitotic cycle, endomitosis. Then there is some other methods are also there. Means either by the fusion of first two blastomeres. Blastomeres, we know that as the zygote undergoes division, the formed cells are called blastomeres, and the first formed two blastomeres, they fuse each other. They will be haploid. As they fuse each other, can develop a single diploid cell, and later they undergoes mitotic division and regain the diploid state. This is another mechanism. And the other mechanism is by the fusion of meiotic products. How that can occur means through meiosis. We know that four cells are forming. 1, 2, 3, 4. All are haploid. And any of these two can fuse together. They combine together and create that diploid state. This is another method by the fusion of meiotic products. And there is another mechanisms also exists there to regain the diploid state. That is through during the meiosis at any one of the anaphase stage. We know that anaphase stage, the main process is the movement of chromosomes or separation of chromosomes to opposite poles. Inside the cell. So, in this mechanism, either in anaphase 1 or in anaphase 2, that separation doesn't happen. And because of that, two sets of chromosome remains together and can regain the diploid condition, can develop that diploid state. These are the different methods by which the diploid stage is regained in the case of half clones. Okay. Next, we are going to see the sex of the offspring. What would be, whether the offspring formed through parthenogenesis, is it a male or a female? And if the offspring is formed out of apomictic parthenogenesis, that are full clones, there's only probability to have to become a female only. There's no chance to have a male offspring. Why? Because the mother is the main factor. We know that mothers, the whole set of chromosomes are coming to the offspring. So there is no chance to have a male offspring there. So most probably a female. And in some exceptions are there. They are in the case of aphids. Aphids, XX type, they certainly form female, and some offspring may develop, they are X0 type, means they are lacking one X chromosome, that will develop to a male. That is only in the case of aphids. Okay. Then coming to half clones. The half clones means that those offsprings that are developed because of after undergoing meiosis, that sex of the offspring is determined by what type of sex determination system exists in that species. Okay, if XY type of sex determination system is present in that species, we know that in parthenogenesis, the whole set means that chromosomes are priorly coming from mother's side. There is no chance for having a Y chromosome there, because parthenogenesis, there is no role of sperm. So the formed offspring all will be XX and can be a female only if that species is following XY type of sex determination system. If that species is following or it is having the ZW type of sex determination system, there we know that the ZW type is the female. Okay, and it is heterogeneous. Look here, that female condition is homogeneous, both are X. But coming to this system of sex determination, for becoming a female, that composition should be heterogeneous condition, ZW. As it is ZW and also meiosis is happening, we know that the diploid state is attaining through some fusions between the haploid cells. So there is chance to have ZZ combination, ZW combination, and also ZZ combinations are there. So ZZ combination can develop to a male and ZW can develop to a female. And sorry, here it is WW because Z is already written here. WW is not the WW. It can also be a female, but it is not a fertile or but it is not a viable one. It cannot survive. It cannot survive. Not viable. Okay, this is about the sexing, means this is about the probability of becoming a male or female in the case of parthenogenesis. Next type of parthenogenesis. Parthenogenesis are of two types. Facultative parthenogenesis also there and obligate parthenogenesis. Facultative means the species can have either sexual reproduction or asexual, depending upon the situation and conditions available. Condition means what? If it find that it is difficult to find a viable male mate, then that species switch to parthenogenetic method of reproduction. That is facultative parthenogenesis. It can have both sexual as well as asexual type of reproduction. Then coming to obligate parthenogenesis means it reproduces exclusively through parthenogenetic way, asexual way only. Okay, and this type, if a species have only this type of reproduction, there is no chance to have variation in the coming generations, and such generations have less chance for sustenance. Okay, through variations only species can survive. And as the evolution proceed, later obligate parthenogenesis we can find in some introduced species also. Introduced species means the species, exotic species, sometimes we introduce to a new environment, and in the new environment, as it want to establish its population, first, instead of preferring a sexual type of reproduction, for affording a sexual type of reproduction, it need to find a male, as its population number is less in the initial time of introduction to the new environment. The best practice to follow the asexual means that mother to undergo asexual means to give more and more number of generation to establish its population in that new habitat. So, in such conditions also, obligate parthenogenesis we can find. Okay, with this we can finish today's class and section. Thank you. I'm an icon, man. And my girl about a 10. I should fuck her in the Benz.